Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Athens. That was Judy Bixler performing on violin for us. We're so blessed and delighted to have her with us this morning and to have you with us also. Now, as we begin our service, let's calm and quiet and turn within, get comfortable however you see that, as we have an opening prayer from Martha Cook.
Let's take a deep breath together into our hearts. Mother, Father, God, Divine, Holy All, we are so grateful that when things seem chaotic, we can quiet our minds and enter the peaceful space of prayer. We can rest in this divine connection, and we can remember what we know to be spiritual truth. We can affirm our oneness with our God within, and we can trust the truth that divine order is present in our lives and in every situation. We can trust the infinite intelligence that is our solid spiritual foundation. We can know that God is present in everything. We can surrender our circumstances to God. We can let go, and we can trust that everything is unfolding for our highest good and the highest good of those we love. As we change our perspective and adjust our thinking and see divine perfection in everything, we are uplifted and we are assured that we are in the flow of divine order and divine love, that everything really is working out for us, and that all is truly well. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much for that beautiful opening prayer, Martha. We appreciate all of our prayer chaplains so much. Take a deep breath and just be awake in this beautiful day. We're so glad to be here at Unity Athens with our doors open and with some folks here in the congregation. We could let out a lot of noise so everyone could tell how many people are here. Okay, there we go. So, today's daily word is inner peace for May 30th, 2021. The affirmation is, peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Would you like to say that with us? Peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Inner peace, the peace of God that my words can only begin to describe, does not depend on outer circumstances. Peace does not come from any external source. It arises from within me. At a place in consciousness, sometimes called the center of my being, peace, like all qualities of God, waits for me to recognize and to claim it. I claim inner peace when I remember the truth that God's presence is always with me and within me. As I center my awareness in the divine presence within, peace soothes my feelings and restores order to my thoughts. I move through all circumstances, with calm assurance. Peace grows within me as I remain centered in God. Every event of my day contributes to the calm peace of my soul. I need to read that last line again. That's ringing for me. Every event of my day contributes to the calm peace of my soul. And from Isaiah 26, verse 3, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. Thank you, Isaiah, one of my favorite Bible books. If you're here in person now or in the future, we have all kinds of extra booklets that we'd love to have you take home with you or to give to a friend. And I'm smiling because our Lenten booklet, Release and Renew, Spiritual Practice for Lent 2021, Lent is over. But the reason I keep these booklets on hand at home is because they're so full of wisdom. It doesn't have to be read during Lent. And this just popped up for today. It was for Friday, March 19th. So we'll just transmute that into Sunday, May 30th. And the affirmation is, I release thoughts of illness. I am wonderfully and beautifully made in the image of the living God. My Creator, the source of all good, cannot be hurt or sick. It cannot be diminished, divided, or decreased in any way, because I am this divine energy in expression, the same stuff of which all creation is made. I cannot be hurt or sick or anything less than whole. Reminds me of the words of Emily Cady. We'll say that at the end. Any appearance of illness is only temporary. Any appearance of illness is only temporary. It does not matter whether this experience is affecting me physically, mentally, or emotionally. This too shall pass. I can hear someone at home saying that. Yeah, this too shall pass. And it did. And this last year, a lot of this stuff did pass. Even though my body, my mind, or my heart may feel unwell, I remind myself that in truth, I am the Spirit of God in manifestation. Whenever I become aware that I am dwelling on thoughts of sickness or ill health, or I would add speaking about it, I gently release them. I pause and take a few deep breaths, releasing any frustration or anxiety with each exhalation. Let's exhale now. If I'm unable to do this alone, I remember to ask for help. That's why we have prayer chaplains. I call on a trusted friend or spiritual guide and ask them to hold me in prayer or to simply listen. And of course, I can always ask my loving God within to help me release thoughts of illness. And from Psalm 139, verse 14, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. We mentioned the quote from Emily Cady from her pioneering work, Lessons in Truth, which I had to memorize in ministerial school, and it's become so helpful on this path in life. That was 20 plus years ago. And it goes like this. Nothing can hurt me or make me sick or afraid. It starts out, I am spirit, perfect, beautiful, harmonious. Nothing can hurt me or make me sick or afraid because spirit is God, and God cannot be hurt or sick or afraid. I manifest my real self through this body now. And so it is. Thank you, Emily Cady. We're going to move into announcements. Yay, announcements. You can clap at home. We are starting up meditation times again here during the week, and we'll start it out with this coming Wednesday at 1 o'clock till 1:45. I will be here. We will do it in this big room with seating distance seating. I don't like to even use the word socially distanced. We had enough of that. Chairs will be a bit apart, okay? We'll have some quiet music. We'll have a little bit of time to talk, but it's mostly a time to center and to go into the silence. If you can't be here right at 1, that's okay. The doors will be open. Just enter quietly. If you need to leave early, that's okay. You don't need to stay for the whole time. Going to start this out on the first Wednesday of every month, I believe, and it may get some other Wednesdays added in. And again, it's at 1 o'clock. They used to be at noon, but it'll be at 1 o'clock till about 1:45. Hope to see you there. The memorial service, the celebration of life for Debbie Schroet, will be held next Sunday at Unity North Atlanta, and that'll be at 3 o'clock. There are some people that are carpooling. You might want to start your own carpool or drive by yourself if you'd like. If you are here for the service or watching online, if you leave at noon, that should give you plenty of time to get over there, or even 12:15. It's open to everybody. It's a big, beautiful sanctuary, and it'll be a wonderful presentation. Terry Hamrick has been talking to me about that. There'll be some videos of our beloved Debbie singing and stories about her life. And 4 different clergy members will be talking about Debbie, including me. Very honored to do that. She was a dear and is a dear friend. We are delighted that our matching fund here at Unity Athens is doing so well. What's a matching fund? That is like a pot of funds that we can match. It's a challenge. And our pot of funds is at $5,000, and that is beginning to be matched. I think we're at about $300, $500 matching that now. So consider, if you are supporting Unity Athens or donating, you would like to write matching fund on your donation or on your online giving, that would be appreciated. And it's exciting. We got some wonderful energy going here with this new way of being, or old way of being, renewed in the world. So we see that continuing to go forward. Our UMOS retreat, which is not, always want to be clear on this, it's not just for Unity ministers, it's for anyone, is usually in late September. This year it will be starting August 30th, I believe, and going till September 3rd. All the details are on ummas.org. And I believe registration will start pretty soon. We usually have scholarships here at Unity Athens for half of the cost, and we will do that again this year. And those are awarded usually in June, or they're usually awarded in July or August. End of announcements. Yay! I'm going to go up on this stage and lead us into the altar area and lead us into meditation. Kevin and I were laughing about this because the mic is right here. I don't take it up into the altar area with me. And sometimes we said you might not be able to hear me up there. And the acoustics of Facebook sometimes make it extremely loud and clear. So don't worry if you can't hear me. I will guide us in from here, and we'll walk up and breathe and just go into a deeper and more quiet place. Kevin will play some soft background music. If you're at home or out in the yard or in a hammock, just consider the feeling of being grounded with Mother Earth and letting those ions come up and bless you, and feel that healing energy as we create sacred energy by meditating together. Following the meditation, we'll have another song on violin with Judy Bixler. So we breathe, we center, we release, we let go of anything that might be troubling us or worrying us, concerning us. Just let it go. Let it go on the breath. Picture it flying away. Whatever works for you, brush it off. Clear your mind. Take breaths in, breathing in that knowledge and the infinite knowing that you are divine. You are a divine being, a spiritual essence walking in this world. Breathe in and we let go. Feel the streaming love of the divine filling you now. You are holy. You are a miracle. You are light and love. Every step you take in this world blesses it. Every breath that you take in and release adds to the beauty of the collective consciousness. Every peaceful thought that you have adds to the peace of the planet. Every blessing you send out is felt. Your light brightens another's life, even thousands of miles away. As you focus on what you'd like to see more of in your life, that energy begins to bring it to you. In the peace and the silence, where we know God, where we know our connection to Spirit, we are deeply blessed, and we breathe and go into the silence now, allowing some moments of complete quietude. With our breath guiding the way. deep peace we find in the quiet. What a gift we can give ourselves at any time. Thinking about the breathing again to bring us back to the moment. Opening your eyes only when you're ready. Perhaps with a stretch, or a wiggle, or a jig, or a little dance, or sing the happy song, one of my favorites. And then just know that this is a gift we give ourselves. The time we spend in meditation, quiet prayer, just it could be sitting outside, it could be taking a walk. There are so many ways to meditate. But it's a way of healing and giving ourselves that precious moment and that precious amount of time. And it's so healing. It is so very healing. We're so honored to have Judy Bixler with us today. She is to me, a master of the violin. She's humble. She's a really, really wonderful violin player. And she'll have another song after the message, but let's honor her now. Thank you, Judy, for being here with us today. Thank you so much, Judy. So I asked my bookshelf who wanted to come to church with me today, and Hafiz raised his hand. He was born in, was it 1300 or 1320, about approximately 1320, so it's an old hand. And he was a wonderful hand at writing poetry. Probably, I've read that he probably wrote 5,000 poems in his lifetime. Emerson loved him. Queen Victoria used to keep a grouping of his poems. I don't know what kind of form it might have been written in at that time, by her bedside, and she used it as an oracle every morning, just opening to a random page and using the wisdom in that poem for her life that day. Daniel Ladinsky, a modern poet himself, translator, interpreter of Sufi poetry, put this book together, and it's literally falling apart. It's just, I love it so much, and I don't even want to replace it. I love it that much. The Gift, Poems by Hafiz, the great Sufi master. God's bucket. If this world was not held in God's bucket, how could an ocean stand upside down on its head and never lose a drop? If your life was not contained in God's cup, how could you be so brave and laugh, dance in the face of death? Hafiz, there is a private chamber in the soul that knows a great secret of which no tongue can speak. Your existence, my dear, oh love, my dear, has been sealed and marked too sacred by the beloved to ever end. Indeed, God has written 1,000 promises all over your heart. I got to say that again. God has written 1,000 promises all over your heart that say life, life, life is too sacred, far too sacred to ever end. Wow. Again, Daniel Ladinsky, The Gift. If you are at home and you're able to get a candle, that would be wonderful. If you're out in the hammock and don't want to get out of the hammock and go in the house, or you're at a beach somewhere or don't have a candle handy, that's fine. We can do mental candle lighting a little bit later here, because we're going to do some healing work today, even though we've just said everything is perfect and the spirit and you cannot be sick or hurt or afraid. But we've all been through a lot in the last 15 months, whether you've managed these rough seas beautifully, whether the seas didn't seem that rough to you because of your focus and your centeredness, or whether it's been really a troubling time for you. We're moving out of that now. We've come through it'll be in the history books 1,000 years from now, most likely, of this last year that we went through. Because it was different, and because we've learned new ways of doing old things, and because in the all of it, we've done well. We've come through this. We've learned ways of being careful. We have stayed home more. We found new ways of working and schooling and being. Many of us have also experienced the passing of loved ones at a higher rate than usual, or have friends that have lost loved ones, or have seen so many images on the news of people passing and hospitals being overwhelmed. There's just been so much going on. And this on Memorial Day, when we generally consider it a day to honor those that have served our country, many of whom transitioned, I like to say, dropped the body, because that's the way I think of death, in the process. Today, we are going to not only honor them in our hearts and our minds, however you wish to do that. Perhaps you have a flag that you put up at home or light a candle or say prayers for any dear ones that passed during the wars. But I'm also suggesting we light a candle, say a prayer, allow some deeper healing to start here. Not just here, but here in our world, in our country. And there's still a lot of healing that will be coming in the months and years ahead for other countries that aren't as fully vaccinated and for the troubled spots in the world. So we're going to send peace out today. We're going to send out love. We are going to perhaps heal ourselves if that feels necessary. Maybe there's some unforgiveness that's in your heart that you can let go of. Maybe there's some troubling thoughts that you might want to change. Maybe you're just feeling some sadness. And we've emphasized all through these months self-care, counseling, if that's something you're able to do, to receive. But those moments of self-care, which can be just little things, doesn't mean having a spa day every day, although that sounds really good, doesn't it? Like, okay. Or a massage, or a special lunch. It can be something as small as writing a card to a friend, because as we heal others, we heal ourselves. I had the lovely experience of watching a memorial service. We mentioned it in our email, but if you don't know, Ron Lindon, who was wonderful, wonderful yogi and a dear friend of Roy Eugene Davis up at the Meditation Center. Ron passed away about 2 weeks ago, and they had an online Zoom service for him yesterday. And just listening to the people honor his life and just thinking of Ron and his beautiful smile and way of being gave me a sense of deep peace, because he was always just in that, to me, he was always in that zone of, hi, how are you? And be able to look you in the eye and smile at you deeply. And we felt his peace. So perhaps there are some folks in your life that you're wishing hadn't transitioned when they did. You're wishing they'd stayed in the body longer. So we can do some healing work on that too today. But mostly I would like to see us moving into the months ahead and the year ahead with new energy and new ways of being. For me, I'm just delighted to be alive every day. When I wake up, it's like, thank you, God. I'm alive. I've got energy. I can write and think and connect with others. I've got a little dog, Mr. Pancake, if you haven't heard me talk about him 1,000 times. A little white Shih Tzu that's now 13 years old. And he's been going through some health challenges. And every day I tell him, thank you for being my dog today. And he looks at me the same way as he does always, like, walk, outside. Can we go outside now? Can you quit talking? Let's go outside. As I pet him and love on him. So perhaps there's people in your life or a dear one or a pet that you want to say that to. Thank you for being in my life today. That can be part of healing. Instead of thinking always of what isn't there, let's appreciate what is there. What is there? As we light candles today, let's remember the flame that is ourself. The light that is ourself. At one of our recent interfaith clergy partnership of Greater Athens meetings, which I'm on the board, I was asked to pick a motivation, a positive statement to share with the others. We try to choose things that aren't specific to our faith, so it can be absorbed and appreciated by everyone. And Marianne Williamson just popped into my mind, and I had to remind people, she actually ran for president a while back. She is a Unity minister and led a very large church up in Michigan. This is one of the things that she is known for, called Our Deepest Fear. And as I read this, think about how you might want to transmute any of your fears into the candle that you're lighting in a bit, either physically or mentally. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Say that a few times, and you might want to say it to yourself. I am a child of God, however you call the divine. You are a child of God. I am a child of God. I'm a child of God. Feel that. Your playing small, she goes on, does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, feel your light shining. Oh, I see everyone's light shining. We unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's from A Return to Love, her book by Marianne Williamson. As we are liberated from our own fear, which we're talking about releasing some of this fear and worry and heavy load that we may have taken on this year, our presence automatically liberates others. So as we lighten up our lives, as we smile more, as we dance more, as we sing more, as we speak more of that which we want to see and less of what happened. Okay to know it. I'm not saying to spiritually bypass it or ignore it, but to move forward now in beautiful ways. As we do that, as we stand in this world and other people see that, they might say, okay, I can start coming back a little bit. I can start enjoying life more. I can put aside some of the troubles. I can turn off the news, thank you, God, even once in a while. I can find positive things to read. I can do a sketch. I can write a poem. If you think you're not a poet, you're incorrect. Everyone is, okay? So let's turn to our candles on this Memorial Day. We have some candles on the table over there. I'm going to ask people if they want to go one by one, and there's some matches, and to light one of the pillar candles. We've got a group of candles here on the table. And if you're doing it at home, and again, you can do this in your mind. You can light all kinds of candles in your mind. You can pretend you have the magical power to look at a candle. Always wanted to been able to do this. Look at a candle and have it burst into flame. Oh, it hasn't happened yet, but who knows? Maybe today, okay? Oh, they did already. Kevin will show us the table here with the candles on it. And one by one, we won't put the camera on you while you're over at the table lighting your candle. It's a private type of thing, but if you want to go one by one and do that, that would be fine. And we've got our small candles here. And I would light the center one, but I'll wait till the matches are available. We'll just wait a bit. This is from Ernest Holmes. He's the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, also called Science of Mind, and he wrote the book Science of Mind. Beautiful book of his. He has written numerous books, but this particular one I love. And I love this quote. Knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel this loving protection around me. I know that the song of joy, of love, of peace. Here we go. Thank you, Kevin. Is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. I gotta read that again. I know that the song of joy, of love, of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Therefore, I tune out of my mind all unhappy and negative ideas. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life. I repeat myself a lot when I'm reading other people's things. You do that? It's like, I got to say that again. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. And I light this candle. Do you love the sound that matches make? I do. It's like a poof sound. There we go. So we light this candle. We heal ourselves. So let's take a few moments now and just focus on the healing of the self. You are a powerful spiritual being. Powerful, that has come through 15 months about of seemingly very challenging times. I was mentioning to the group earlier that I was talking to a dear one that said, this last year's been hard on ministers, hasn't it? And I just started weeping. There's been some times here. We had to learn new skills and spend more time doing things that we hadn't been spending time on before. But it's also a great growth and learning experience. But you and all of us have been through quite the experience. We will grow from it. We're stronger because of it. We will move on in new ways. We will celebrate life probably bigger and brighter and more joyfully than we ever have before. We'll let that joy that's within us be contagious out into the world. And these teachings of unity, of truth, are a blessing we can give others. Now, you might not sit down and start reading Charles and Myrtle Fillmore to someone that's not familiar. Well, it's an idea. But saying things like, I believe that my thoughts help create my reality, so I work on keeping my thoughts positive. Or you might say, I believe in prayer and meditation, that when I go into that quiet place, I am not connecting to spirit, because I'm already always connected to spirit, but I'm allowing that connection. I'm becoming even more aware of it. Or we might say, we teach that God is in everything and everyone. 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 That all are divine. They all have that divine spark within them. That's our first principle. God is all good and in everything. Second principle, that's in everyone. In prayer and meditation, powerful tools. Powerful tools. And that our thinking helps create our reality. Especially focused thought and training ourselves to think positively. And moving away from what we don't want in our thinking into what we do want. So whether you're just new on the path of learning truth, or a long-time truth seeker and student, your life can demonstrate that to others. Smiling at someone in the grocery store, making a positive comment to someone. I'm going to finish up with a very short story. I was out in a store yesterday looking for a particular kind of dog food. And I was fine. I think I was the only one in the place that had a mask on, but that was okay because I'm vaccinated, and I just see what I was thinking. I was looking at what I didn't want, right? Anyway, I got in line because I couldn't find the dog food, so I bought a bunch of hummingbird food. And I was standing in line, and there was a person sort of yelling at another person that wasn't with the person. It was two men, actually. And this first person was berating the second person for some work the second person never completed for the first person. So I'm trying to turn off from this. I don't want to hear that. I'm happy. I got some hummingbird and new hummingbird feeder. And it got loud. And then the first person called the second person a name. And I was like, oh, get me out of here. I don't want to hear this. So I was paying cash, which is unusual. So I'm like scrambling. I needed like two more quarters and a dime. I had the bills. So I'm digging in my purse so I can leave. And it's taking a while. And the gentleman standing behind me said, what do you need? Tell me how much you need and I'll give it to you. And I looked at him. It wasn't the two that were in this thing. And I went, oh, I could feel the whole atmosphere change. And I looked at him. I said, I think I've got it. But I said, thank you. And I got I said, again, I turned back. I said, that was very kind of you. Thank you for doing that. And he smiled. He maybe does that all the time. But the whole atmosphere changed. And the two people that were going back, one was feeling kind of coward, I think, and the other one was getting louder up until that point. And the whole tone and texture of the person that was yelling changed. Even though there were back 3 or 4 people, the atmosphere changed. And as I was leaving the cashier, I turned to that man behind me one more time and I said, you are a very kind person. And he just beamed. That's unity principles. Knowing that, not what I did, but knowing that we change the world by our interaction in it, by sending out peace and love and light. I hope you found this experience to be healing. You might want to journal and spend some time in self-care, or talk to a friend or a counselor if the past year is still troubling you. And now we're going to have another beautiful song by Judy Bixler, and we'll have our sacred exchange, and we'll close today with Let There Be Peace on Earth when we get to that point, which Judy's going to play on the violin in a little while. Thank you so much, Judy. Please come with us again another time and have music. That would be wonderful. Closing comment on this Memorial Day weekend, we honor those who have blessed us. We light a candle for all who have passed on recently, in our past, or in the collective for Memorial Day. We also honor your courage and resiliency for the way you have moved through challenges and found strength in the last year. Light that candle, or light it again, or light it again, or light it every day, if you will. We are so appreciative, as I mentioned earlier, that the funds are coming in for this matching challenge, or for your consistent and regular support of Unity Athens. We have a mother church, but we are independent financially, so your support, your gifts make a huge difference, and we thank you for that. We're delighted we also have been able to maintain our building during all these months, so thank you for that. We like to call this our sacred exchange because we know as we give, we receive. Can't outgive God. Some of us like to hold our gift, or the thought of our gift, or the thought of our abundance over our heart as we say our sacred exchange affirmation. Just take a moment and feel your blessedness and feel your prosperity and your abundance. It's always flowing to you. We are open and so grateful for that. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am so blessed. Thank you, your name for the divine, infinite spirit. Amen, and so it is. And just a reminder, this Wednesday we will have a meditation service at 1 o'clock. There'll be a little time to, if you have a prayer request, I'll be leading it. We'll have it here in the sanctuary. Chairs distance, masks on please. And you can sit in the back if you don't want to wear a mask. That works out also. And we'll just have that time for quiet and meditation. And you can come for part of it or all of it if you'd like. And we'd be delighted to have you here. Again, 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And again, Debbie Schroet's Memorial Celebration of Life service will be next Sunday at Unity North Atlanta at 3 o'clock. So, let us close out by singing the peace song. There's so much going on in the world. Just send some peace and light and love. Lots of wonderful things going on, because that's what we focus on, right? But we know the words, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. Thank you for being with us today. Be sure you send up a heart or a comment